Welcome to Oh Brother, a podcast of three brothers trying to figure it all out, with your hosts, Brandon, Collin, and Aaron. On this week's show, trash tier jelly beans. Ahoy.
Ahoy.
Here we go. Got this.
Probably.
Okay. Who knows? Unclear.
True.
So we're gonna try this again. Did we use this already? I forget. Did we use
it
this
last time?
Okay.
Yes, last time. Does it mean it worked? Does it mean it?
Yes.
Oh,
yes, it worked fine. Yeah, it worked fine. So
Okay.
the key here is that unlike I think I've already described this. It's not
Yes,
important.
yes.
Okay. Anyway. Okay. It's fine. So yeah.
I didn't. You didn't say whether or not it worked. So
Sure. I should have given an update about
I'm
that.
assuming that since you said we were doing it again, my assumption is it must have been fine. I know
Something worked last time, so we're going
it
to go
must
with
have
it.
been decent.
Yes, it is fine. Yeah, no,
Well,
it's
there you
actually sounded really good.
Aha. Okay.
So there's that.
Fingers crossed, Reno, for repeat success.
Mhm. That means this will be an utter complete failure.
Don't say that. No, everything's
Fine.
fine. Everything is fine.
Round 2. So, yes, that's that. So how's your life been?
Oh my goodness, it was the longest, shortest week of school of all time. Right. It was one of those where like we only had to work. It was only a 4-day week, but it was just the longest series of events transpired throughout the week that it was just like, oh my god, it's just like so much happening. Culminating with, for some reason that is unknown to me, that I'll probably whine about to my boss when we have the meeting, is we had parent-teacher conferences on a Thursday, which is not normal. So normally we do it Monday and Tuesday night, and then we're off school on Friday, right? That's generally how they do that, right?
Sure.
This year, for reasons that are unclear, somebody decided that we needed to have parent-teacher conferences on Thursday only.
Obviously.
So that was fun. Because, a lot of parents can't come on like one night. Generally, if you have 2 nights, one of them, it makes it easier to attend because you can like, sometimes you have to work on one night or whatever, and you can't, you know what I mean? Like schedules are all crazy and stuff. So
Yeah.
having them on 2 nights, it is easier to get people to come. So this week we had to do just a ton of like phone call conferences and like meetings on different days. Like some of the parents like came to just pick their kids up after school and just came to conference real quick. Like, so it was way more work than normal to do it this way.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, no.
Did you have a lot of parents coming in? And
We had
compared to previous
we had
years?
Yeah, it was kind of ridiculous. We had all but 4 parents come.
Oh wow!
Yeah, for the entire 6th grade.
Oh my!
It is abnormal. I mean, that is including phone conferences throughout the week as well, right?
Still,
but we had all except all but 4, I think.
Yeah.
So
that's wild.
It was exhausting because
yeah, because those aren't just quick. Those aren't quick conversations, right? There's usually some in-depth questions.
Of them were pretty good. Most of them were fine, because the spring. No, I'm saying this backwards again. Fall conferences are usually very student-led, student-oriented. So the kids come, they show off their work. We give them their grade cards. We talk about how it's going, and the kids kind of walk through some binders or some I showed them their science lab that they did that day. They finished graphing their stuff, so they showed them that. They talked about what they've been doing in science. And so the kids kind of lead it through, and then we just kind of talk a little bit to the parents, except for a few parents that we had to have some very, very in-depth conversations with. That was fun. Anyway,
cool. Very nice.
Yeah. Most of them weren't good, so it was fine. But it was just a long night. And then Wednesday was Halloween reading celebration day. Man. So because we don't have school Monday, right?
Oh.
They did their Halloween thing this year, like tied to like the library did it, right? AKA Susan did it, right?
Okay, yeah.
So it was like a reading celebration day. So there was lots of costumes and stuff, right? Probably the reason they didn't do that Thursday because they didn't want the teachers to be in parent-teacher conferences in their costumes because a lot of teachers
wearing a giant crayon or something. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I didn't participate, obviously, but other people.
What?
Yeah, I know it's shocking, but that was another long day of like, just because it was not normal school day. Those days are always like they feel long because you're not doing normal school things. So
you don't have that. You don't have that flow, that that predictability, the familiarity with what the schedule's going to be and whatnot. It's all just crazy.
Yeah, so it's all weird. So that was basically my week. And then last night we went to the high school musical production thing.
Oh, what was it this year?
I don't know exactly what the title was. It was like a Halloween-y theme.
Okay.
Though. I don't remember what it was called. It had some weird long name. It was like classic premise: car breaks down, 2 rando people knock on door of spooky castle full of all kinds of weirdness. Right. So it was good though. They did a good job.
We know where this goes. I got you.
Yeah. Zaniness ensues. There's some singing. There's some
bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah.
I got you.
So. Yeah,
nice.
It's all right, but that was my week.
Well, good.
Being like,
wow. Well, I have decided on a vehicle to pursue.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Now, do I have the one that I'm going to drive up to and purchase? No, I do not. But I have one that I'm going to do diving into.
Wow.
And it was sweetened for me mere hour ago, all 60 minutes ago. So I have an undying love
for things to be sweetening.
It's fine. It's my life.
Yeah.
I mean, I was. I still. So I waffle. I'm a waffler. It's fine. Everybody. It's fine.
We know. Listeners are aware.
Continue to waffle. So anyway, so I'm sitting there and I'm like, I want something that is bulletproof, that is not humongous. I want, I'm really looking at this mid-size SUV market because I thought about going the route again of the Honda Accord, which is honestly probably the best decision. However, given my line of work and the complete chaos that things have been the past 3 months, I now have this probably irrational, but mostly rational fear of not being able to access client homes because of a random person who quits, and my staff quits in the middle of a blizzard and I've got to go over there or whatever. So I want something that's capable and super reliable. So even though I did tread down the what are the new Land Rover Discoveries? What do those look like? We test drove one. Did I tell you this? I test drove a Discovery Sport, and the windshield wiper, the rear windshield wiper, just was not working at all, and I just could not stop laughing. It was like a 2018, and I mean, the back windshield wiper was already broken.
Do
Okay.
rear windshield wipers ever work, though? That's the real question.
No.
Like,
no, they don't. But it's just funny because I went into this being like, obviously, this is going to have electrical issues. And then I clicked this button and
and nothing happened.
It did nothing happen. And I was like, well,
right.
this is not good. So I'm in mid-sized SUVs, right? And I'm racking my brain. And I am like, well, let me go see what I can find for like Land Cruisers, because those are kind of like full size, but they're also they're full size, but on the way smaller side of life. So I'm looking at older ones, and I'm like, that's not reasonable. And then I remember that there is another Land Cruiser out there over our European friends, and basically every other market that Toyota sells knows that there's not just the Land Cruiser. There's the other variant, the Land Cruiser Prado. And we don't have that in the United States, do we? No, we don't. However, we do as the Lexus GX 460.
And it's disguise.
It is in disguise because, well, and here's the interesting fact is that we used to have the Land Cruiser, and then the Lexus version was the LX 470 and then the LX 570. Well, they made the LX 600 and they got rid of the Land Cruiser. So now we don't even have the Toyota Land Cruiser over here anymore. We only have the Lexus rebranding. So I have been diving deep into Lexus GXs because they're kind of called like the poor man's Land Cruiser, because who can afford a Land Cruiser, right? It's just ridiculous.
Like, wait, I'm a poor man. That's great.
Hey, hooray! Which sounds weird because you're like going after a Lexus.
I mean, Lexus isn't really a poor man's anything.
But here's the thing.
That's the funny part here.
Yeah, I went and I compared the same model year 4Runner, like a 4Runner Limited, to an LX 460. A GX 460. The Lexus was cheaper than the 4Runner, which is weird to me.
Well, there you go.
But I was like, this is another sign. And then what was sweetened with me mere 72 minutes ago, since we started this phone call.
Oh my gosh, what the heck?
I learned, ready for this? I learned that so there are all these different models, and like you get different bells and whistles. I don't want all that. I just want and it's a cool thing. It's like four-wheel drive all the time. And it has a couple different off-road settings or whatever. But also like the engine, bulletproof, obviously it's going to go 300,000 miles. So I'm not worried about that. But I was a little frustrated that it didn't have the multi-terrain select. Like you had to go for this really upper tier trim model, which nobody ever got because it was way too expensive and outrageously priced. Nobody ever got that. So you can't find this little button on any of these models. And I was really bummed out until I found there's a little doodad that you can buy for $200 from Lexus. You pop off the glove box, you access the computer, you plug it in, boom, you get multi-terrain select like the upper tier models, and you select it on the steering wheel with the little stalks. And
oh my goodness, what the heck?
That's all you have to do. No. You turn off your car, you take out the glove box, which I watched a video on while I was waiting to do a visit. I watched a 15-minute video on how to disassemble this, and it literally is this little like big fuse box thing that you just plug into the circuit board. And then you turn it on and you have multi-terrain select.
and there's void any and all warranties immediately.
It's fine.
It's a fuse box with your finger.
I'm looking. Okay. The vehicles I am looking at are way past warranty, right? We're looking at
fair enough.
6 years old, right? We're looking at high mileage. Anyway, I was like, well, obviously, this is the best solution to all of my problems now. And
I mean, it's a solution to your problems.
No, it's literally the best.
I
can think of no problems to this.
I can think of no reason to be doing this, but that's whatever. Apparently, to go to pet sitter jobs, listeners, you must like off-road through a frozen forest, like rock crawling over downed trees, and then like across an icy frozen pond. Like that is what you need to do. So you must be multi-terrain selecting as you go. Like you're going to be going from severe downhill to gravel to other terrains. I don't
Others,
know what
yeah,
are.
assorted,
muddy,
yeah.
Probably. I don't know. All of those in the course of going to sit a dog. Clearly,
yes. Well, okay. So, like I said, it's the best solution.
Obviously, all of those trains are just in Springfield, Missouri.
The
clearly,
best solution. And there's no need. There's no concern.
You're right. There's no need. You're right.
No, wrong. No. There's no need for concern. I have this all under control. Yeah, you can. But seriously, it's like the size of a playing card deck, and then you just turn it back on, and you can use all this. You don't have to install any new buttons. It's just there, and then you can select between mud and sand, loose rock, mogul, and then rock, like large rocks.
Yes,
like,
moguls.
I need
the perpetual nuisance of Springfield traffic. The mogul select. Clearly, that's what you need when you're speeding towards a parakeet. Right, in need of medication. Mogul select, and then obviously you have to switch between mogul and sand and gravel. I mean,
that's actually the one that you use whenever you're. That's the one that they recommend for snow. I thought that was weird. Like there was no snow mode. Like I thought that would be pretty like obvious, but no. So that's the one that sand and gravel is what they recommend for snow mode.
I mean. That's true because you probably don't need two different modes for snow and sand and gravel. Right?
It was just weird that they didn't say snow. Like that's a pretty big
like sand, gravel, snow. Right?
Yeah, that was kind of on. Yeah, but it was already two names. But like having a snow mode on a crossover or SUV is like a big point. Like a lot of them have just a set snow mode. So it was interesting that they didn't. That word wasn't there, so I was concerned. Like, well. But anyway, I was blown away by this, and I was like, well, that like you don't have to find that upper trim. Plus, here's the other thing: the upper trims came with an auto leveling rear suspension on airbags.
Which sounds like it's going to break.
The only exposure I have to airbags, air suspension are Range Rovers and Land Rovers, and those never last. Like they break very quickly.
Yeah, no, they don't.
And I assume that Toyota has built them betterly, but also no, thank you. So I was like, well, if you get the base model, which still has every other bells and whistles except the auto leveling, and they're like, oh, if you're towing, or a lot of people use these for overlanding, right? Where all of a sudden you're loading up with like 10,000 pounds of gear to go, to the park, and which is obviously ridiculous. Which who else would do? I mean, please,
no one else.
Please, let's use this for what it was actually meant for. Just dog walking and pet sitting, obviously.
Yes,
and,
clearly.
But I was like, I don't want anything else to break. Plus, a lot of people were like, well, as soon as I bought it with that, I just replaced it with coil springs. And anytime somebody says, I just replaced it with coils, or that's what you do eventually, it's like, why even bother? Like, why get to that point?
Why even start out there?
If every person is like, just do coil springs. It's like, well, then I'll just start there. So this is the path that we are going on.
There you go.
I have not done the thing that I wanted to do, which was buy the multi-terrain select computer before I have the car, which is what I was very tempted to do as like an extra motivation.
Please don't do that. No, that's the most ridiculous thing in the whole world. Like, I understand you want to do it like the second you have the car, but you
should probably wait a little bit.
Deep breaths. Yeah. Make sure everything else is functioning okay. Right.
No, I'd rather just change as much stuff as possible at the same time. That way I could never backtrack and figure out where the problem is.
Yes.
And then it's a lifelong project, which is what I need in my life. More projects. Which is actually not true. So this is a foolproof plan. And
it's a plan. So,
but but it's fine because who typically buys this kind of car? Here's my other thinking. Right? Here's my other thinking. This kind of car is usually bought by whom?
I don't know.
No. I figured out. It's fine. It's fine. Doctors who are driving, they get it. Why? Because it's a Lexus, right? So they want a nice car. They buy it for their spouses because it's a nice car, and they drive around town, and they park it in a garage. So, and
you mean like where you don't need a sand and gravel button?
Exactly. Okay. So after their 3 to 5 year lease is up, they go in and they go get a new one, and then the Lexus dealer puts it on the used lot and they sell it. So you're getting a one owner, very gently used, putted around town. The most extreme they did was they accelerated quickly one Monday morning because they pulled out 2 in front of a car. They were sleepy and they drove it in the rain. And like, that's it. And you're like, oh, okay, this is good. This is good. Good idea. Got this all with the mind of the car.
Well, there you go. Plan. I mean, this is much better than previous where there was just no plan. The plan was test drive every single car in a multi-county area,
which we're still not ruling out. Like, let's be real.
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously, but there'll be other things on the way, I imagine. Some detours, some side quests for other things.
Right. As I was looking into, well, maybe I need a truck. So what a Ford Raptor? What does that look like?
That's obviously
really.
I like how you went from like your train of thought from going to like, I need the most versatile settings possible in an off-road configuration to Ford Raptor, which is just like big engine in truck. Like, yes, I obviously got it. Like, I don't.
I know.
Look, so versatile, the Raptor with its gas pedal and brake pedal.
Look, 2 settings. Okay. Look,
Stop
I'm sure in the annals of history, my psychiatrist will point back to this as an extreme manic episode that I'm going through, but it's fine.
Yes, they will.
But I'm continually, okay, like now's a bad time to be doing like buying anything in the world because everything is super expensive. But my whole brain is having to do a lot of rewiring. Like the fact that a Chevy Tahoe is the same price as like the Lexus that I'm looking at or anything else. Like it's all like, it hurts my brain so bad to think about how all these things are now like suddenly at parity just because everything is scarce. It's weird.
Yeah. This is late stage capitalism. That's how it works. Everything is expensive. Everything costs a bit. These scarcities, they're just going to keep saying scarcity just because they're like, hey, if we say scarcity, it means I can charge more. Right.
Yeah.
This is just how it works.
Yeah.
Right?
I know.
You can have like these just like abnormal things happening for seemingly no reason. Like, it's fine. Just
for perpetuity. Like, right, like just it just really hurts. And the fact that everyone just keeps going along with it, and that the only way to like do something is to like, it just really hurts my brain to be going through this process. Yes. And wade through that is interesting and fun for everybody. That's not true. That was a lie.
No, not fun, but it's interesting. That's true.
Oh, so, okay. Well, enough car talk. We have to meander our way to candy. I have one anecdote to say on the way there because we've got to get to that topic.
That's true. So here we go.
Did you know, this is no segue at all, this is a complete non sequitur. Did you know there are persimmon trees along Dad's driveway?
I know.
Yeah,
like,
same.
When you say along, do you mean where?
Yeah. So,
Like,
he's got
in
the
field.
No. So like on the wood side, like on that riparian corridor.
Okay.
Yeah, just like right
they're
there.
just in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no. We're walking along today.
I thought you meant he had planted some persimmon trees, and I was like,
No.
oh Lord, why?
No planting required. But
okay.
Yeah.
I did not know this.
No, me neither.
Guess.
We're walking along today. Kids are frolicking in the field, and I'm looking over and I'm talking to Dad. Yeah, and all of a sudden, my brain just sees this tree, and when I say, "Dad, you have a persimmon tree," and he goes, "What?" And he looked over and he goes, "Where did that come from?" And I went, "Presumably a seed. I have no idea." And then we found like 4 more, and some of them were like 4 inches around. Like, Dad was like,
"Well, that's not a new persimmon tree."
No, none of these were new. Dad was like, "Well, I'll be the 30 plus years. It found a new tree," and he's he mows alongside there all the time. We literally drive past these, but they were just there. So we picked some persimmons and ate some persimmons on the side of the tree.
Did you cut them open and say, like, did you read the persimmon seeds to get a gauge of wintertime?
No, because I couldn't remember. Okay. You have to like crack the seed, right? You have to split the seed open. Yeah. I didn't have that kind of technology.
Some sort of flatware based configuration.
Yes, if it is fork or spoon based. Fork or spoon.
Spoon means snow because it's like a shovel.
Shovel, yes. And fork means...
Yeah, I think there's a knife, maybe.
Is there?
I don't remember.
This is a technology.
I just know that every once in a while somebody will talk to me at persimmon seeds. I just look at them and go, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah,
what do you mean? I'm on the seeds. What is this?
Almanac.com. Yeah.
I feel like.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
Like that's the
knife. That's the fork and spoon.
You see, cutlery based persimmons. What did people think they were before they were like, "Hey, this is what a fork looks like"?
Yes. So kernel is spoon shaped. Plenty of snow to shovel. If it's fork shaped, it's mild and powdery snow. If it is knife, it's frigid that will cut like a blade.
Oh, is it now? There we go. There you go. So you read the bones, and it tells you the winter weather forecast. Listeners, if you did not know that was a thing, old people in Missouri swear by this. Every once in a while, some random person will just tell me about the persimmon seeds, and I just have to go, "What?" Because I forget it's a thing.
And now we can take part of this because we have them marked easily, so we can start. This website claims it's an unscientific way of predicting the forecast, but I disagree.
I think that is probably very accurate because I think it's been a spoon for, well, they did snow a lot last year, I guess, but well, no, we'll see. We'll find out.
So these are very, very, very good. I've actually only had a persimmon, I think, like one time.
I don't know if I've ever eaten one. Yeah. I know I have thrown them at people before, but I have not eaten a persimmon. What does a persimmon taste like?
It's in the peaches and pear family. So
is it
kind of kind of like that. It's very squishy and creamy. So when we picked them, they were very, very ripe, which is fine. Like you can mush them and make a fruit pie. A lot of people add them to like puddings or make persimmon breads, which is an interesting thing that you'd add it to. I assuming like a fruit cake,
like a bread pudding.
Yes,
that's why I might.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. It doesn't sound appealing, but
they remind me a lot of apricots, is what they really do. But they're more, especially when they're these were they had a much more mellow taste. But they were still pretty, not astringent, but had I guess pretty tangy flavor to them. Good.
That might be the overripeness. Right?
Yeah. But apparently you can eat them. You're definitely not supposed to eat them when they're green. But a lot of people I was reading really prefer them when they're super ripe, like we had found them. So I thought that was it's pretty interesting that people prefer them to use the overripe ones for like baking and such. So Like,
I figure that's just because they can get the seeds out easier to predict the winter weather forecast.
Well, that was the thing that I was also having to explain to the children. I was eating them of like just the prodigious amount of seeds because it hasn't been cultivated, right? It's a wild fruit. And so like it is just very, very little flesh in there to eat. And you're just constantly spitting out these huge persimmon seeds. And they were very confused. And I was like, well, these have not been, changed.
Yeah. Way to really unconfuse them with your very long, lengthy, like biological explanation of like, well, you see, this is a non-genetically modified tree, and so the seeds have to cultivate themselves, and so they have to have just enough flesh for the little squirrels and animals to be enticed by them and to fall on the ground, but not enough so that they eat the seeds and run off.
Exactly. Yeah. And when we see,
no wonder Lily was like, "What,
Dad? Stop talking." Anyway,
just eat the seeds, Dad.
Yeah, just spit them out. Please stop saying words.
Just cut them open. I want to see what cutlery it is.
Yeah, we didn't get to that point, but I think we'll do some more experiments.
This is my new fantasy novel, right? There's an old lady that lives in the woods, and she's like a reader, and she just reads like portends. She's like an oracle, and her portends come from just seeds, like all seeds. Doesn't matter.
That'd be cool.
Like she will gather them and make a thing, and the seeds will tell her something, and then that's part of your inciting incident, right? Instead of reading the bones, right? I feel like seed reading. There's some.
I think that's
here we go.
Necessary.
This is my. Yeah, here we go. We're gonna just workshop that later, but
okay.
We'll
I like this.
The seed reading lady in the woods, right? That's what
it's. I mean,
she's like, it's like the person in the village, right?
Yeah, the old.
She has the ancient art of seed reading,
of course, as one does.
As one does,
perfect. Yes,
that's all I got. Nothing else.
Just start there. I think it'll just flow naturally.
I mean, it's the seed of a story.
Oh,
you're welcome. It's okay.
So it brought back a lot of memories of us with blackberry bushes out in the East pasture, and how those are not there anymore. But I was like, oh yeah, we used to go get those every now and then. And then I was wondering if like, well, maybe we could like start cultivating some pawpaw trees out here and get some pawpaw fruits. And then
It's true. I hear that's a new fad in Missouri.
Yeah.
People are trying to
make
that a thing.
They are a lot of nature, local cultivars are trying to make that into its own market, so that they could have something to just go out and find and export and grow here locally. So I know that's a big push for a lot of local vores, whatever.
So last weird question before we go back to the topic. If it's so local to Missouri, how come Baloo sings about it in the Jungle Book?
So
because he says if you could have a pawpaw or a prickly pear. So that movie does not take place in Missouri. Spoilers for the Jungle Book. That does not. Right? Like I know. Why is it in a song then? Is there more variety?
I think there are more varieties.
Did it just like accidentally end up in Missouri somehow?
No, I don't. Right. Actually, no. I think the pawpaw as we know it is a southeastern variety. So I think it was just a maybe bad songwriting, Disney. Basically Disney.
Maybe just bad songwriting.
Dang it.
Okay, I can agree with that, but. Okay.
And I don't even think I've seen a pawpaw like fruit.
I had never seen one until I saw an article about it and they had a picture of one.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, that looks not really appetizing. So I can't imagine why people wouldn't want to eat that.
And it's literally full of seeds. Like I do know that.
I mean,
again, it's not cultivated to not have those. So you have to scrape out just gobs and gobs of seeds to get to them. And they're big, black, disgusting seeds. Ugh,
anyway. Yeah. Can't imagine why no one would want to buy this to eat it.
Yeah, you gotta prep it, right? You gotta prep it.
True.
Present it. So things you don't have to
even
prep.
the fruit, like before you cut it open, is like gross looking.
No, it's just like
things you don't have to prep.
Candy.
Buy.
Yeah, you just go buy candy.
There you go.
So 3 episodes ago, and astute listeners will know that the end of last episode, I did in fact say that we would start off with this question, and we have in fact not. We're 30 minutes into this, and there's just now getting to it. Shocking. We didn't go. It didn't go as planned. So, Brandon, you had a question you wanted to pose.
Right. So the eternal question here is, which holiday has the best candy? Right. We have now entered candy season. Right. As I said earlier, it denoted by the fact that Reese's starts making specialty candies at this time. Mm-hmm. So basically, the 4 big holidays for candy here in the United States at this time should be Halloween, Christmas, Valentine's Day, and Easter. Right. So it's basically just candy central all the way until whenever Easter is, April at some point, maybe. So the question that we were thinking about is, which one has the best candy out of all of them? If you are a candy enthusiast, which one do you look forward to the most? Which one has the worst and then the best candy available to you during that season? Mm-hmm. Right? So I say the 4 big holidays. I am aware that there are just a myriad of holidays starting now, right? However, at least in the Midwest, those other ones don't come equipped with candies that I can procure. So, listeners, if you have other holiday candies that we miss, we need to know about them, possibly to eat them, right? And so let us know. Tell us about holidays we missed in our ignorance, and tell us the appropriate candies that go with them. So, that's what...
Yeah. This, I don't know how you want to approach this.
Well, I guess we could just talk briefly. We could just go through, I think the best thing to do, would go chronologically through the holidays and just talk about the different varieties of candy available. And then sort of at the end, give a ranking of like which one is the best. Right? So we do like a brief overview of candies available, just general thoughts on each one, and at the end, kind of pick your favorite. Right.
Uh-huh.
How do you feel about that plan?
Yeah, that's fine. You want to kick us off?
Okay. Yeah, so Halloween is a hard one, right? Because Halloween has a large, like, just like amount of candy, like the volume of candy that is available to you at Halloween is kind of stupefying, right? However, there's not a lot of candy that's like specific Halloween candy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's just a few. The rest of it is just like normal candy, just in a smaller package so that you can give it to trick-or-treaters easier. Right? That's like, that's the weird thing about Halloween candy, is it like, we have a little bowl here for the trick-or-treaters, and it's all just like normal candy that's just smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like Kit Kats and Reese's and M&Ms and stuff, but it's like just in a smaller package. So it's not like specific Halloween candy, right? And, you know, without giving too much away here, the other problem with Halloween candy is there's a lot of Halloween candy that's bad, right? It's just like trash, like cheap candy that comes in a giant bag, but it's not good.
Yeah.
At all. It's just like,
it's
bad.
Really, very cheap. It's just trash, right? This is where you get the grab bag of those little, I'm just picturing those little cheap, like suckers, whatever they're called, like no-name suckers. They're just very tiny. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like they're just random tiny, like peanut butter candy that's like not good, or like there's a lot of not good candy at Halloween.
Yeah.
So even though there's a huge amount of candy available, some of it is kind of bad. And like, I feel like, in my estimation anyway, Halloween loses some points because there's no like specific candy for it.
Well,
You get a little bit. You have like your candy corn, I guess, and then like.
So Reese's has recently come out with the Franken Cup. Have you seen this? They're trying to make something.
I did not.
Okay. So this is a spoiler. Mine break down along Reese's peanut butter cups. But so they have this one where it's a Reese's peanut butter cup, but the bottom half is green cream mint flavored underneath. So it's like basically it's like a peanut butter cup, but the bottom half is green and the top half is regular chocolate. That's it.
Okay. That's not very exciting.
They're trying to make that a thing.
Trying too hard.
I will say that the single best Halloween candy. Are we there? Are we at that point yet? Can we?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Are not the candy corns, because those are gross, but the candy corn pumpkins.
The pumpkin things?
I love them so much. I don't know why, because
they fit in really good into catapults that you can make for Halloween for some
trebuchets. Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
I think I don't know why, because they're made of the same stuff as candy corn, but it is I like them a lot. So
there you go.
Very satisfying. Very satisfying to bite into and to chew, I think, is what.
I mean, maybe it's because they're more.
Bigger. Yes.
Right, and they're chewier. I don't know. I don't like the chewiness of the candy corn. That's one of the things that, like, they're just so like
fair.
I don't know. They have a weird texture, but maybe it's because they're bigger and like no one wants to chew like one candy corn.
No,
that's weird.
Nobody.
Like num.
It is odd. So that is my vote for that one. If there's a best one, it would be that, because
it's hard to get a good best Halloween candy because like it's like I said, it's a lot of it's just like it's just M&Ms, right?
Oh yeah,
or it's just Snickers bars but tiny. Like that's what it's just not like a big special thing. They're just like like I said, the amount is staggering.
Yes. So for that, it gets some bonus points, right? Of like, it's just like the sheer quantity of options goes through the roof for this. Of like, it literally is. True. It really is anything goes.
That's true, but there's not really that much like specialty option.
Yeah.
Like, in this thing, it's just like it's a Reese's, but the package has a pumpkin on it,
right? Or it's green chocolate instead of
or it's green for some reason, or like it's just, and like the number one. I read this the other day. The number one like best selling Halloween candy is a Kit Kat. So
that must be like, because
you can just buy that.
It's got to be because it's included in all of the mixed bag options,
right?
It
they
must
make
be.
The small ones,
yes, yeah,
right. But like, you can just buy a Kit Kat anytime.
Which, in and of itself, Kit Kat is rather boring.
I mean, it's fine. Like, I don't have anything like against Kit Kats. Like, I don't want to like run away from them. But like, for that to be the number one best selling Halloween candy is weird, right? Like. Any of those weird maps that you see, like best-selling Halloween candy in each state, like it's all like M&Ms, Snickers, Kit Kat, apparently, right? Like Reese's. That's it. Like it's it. Things that you can buy in June, right? Like not, it's not like you're not like Jones and you're like, oh, I can't wait for Halloween to get that Kit Kat, man. Never can get that any other time of the year.
Break me off a piece of that. Yep.
That's right. So I think so. Surprisingly, just like generally, I would say like spoilers for later, but I think Halloween ranks kind of low on the list of
that's fair
holidays.
That's fair.
Not good.
Okay. Okay. So then we roll into Christmas.
Yeah. So sorry, Thanksgiving, you don't have any candy. So yeah, Christmas is the big one, right? Like this is the one that has like lots of candy and specialty candies, right? Specifically that are for Christmas time. Or they're specifically available at Christmas time, and it's much harder to find them at other times of the year. Right? Like, the quintessential Christmas candy, the candy cane. Right?
Yes.
Like you can't not finding that.
Literally
in
emblematic
June.
of this holiday.
It's true. And there's all that Susan's favorite, those weird like chocolate covered cherry things. They're like always everywhere. Oh, she loves those things. And those are most prevalent at Christmas time. You can get them some other times, but like they're most prevalent at Christmas time. And she said that if I did not mention those, I was in trouble. So just so you know, we have that.
Okay, fair. But yeah, well, but the candy cane brings up a good point of when I think of just the flavor of Christmas, it tends to be nothing but what? Like
it is peppermint, right?
Like it's just peppermint.
Yeah,
everything gets thrown out.
That's true.
At Christmas, and I am interested to know. I should have done this until I literally thought about it right now. Like, why? How did peppermint become the flavor of Christmas? And I don't know.
I don't know either. That could be a follow-up question that we have for this. But yeah, I don't really know. But it is. It's basically peppermint everything. So if you don't like peppermint, that really does bad for the ranking of Christmas time, right? Like it does not bode well for how it would rank. So this is definitely if you were a person who just doesn't like peppermint at all, that means Christmas is gonna be like last place no matter what, because there is just a vast amount of peppermint candy, right?
Yes. I think the other problem sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, just for me, the other problem with Christmas is that there's just such a steep competition for so many other treats that get put out at this time of year. Of like the other thing that I think of around Christmas, mostly because this is what just our grandma made, was a lot of like fudge.
But see here, technically, this is what I was going to bring up as well. Christmas gets like bonus points because like there's a lot of homemade candy.
Well, yeah,
that happens at Christmas, right? And so you get things like fudge, which is technically a candy, kind of a little bit. That's like blurring the line slightly, but like you get that, and you get like homemade candy and all kinds of different stuff. And so you get some like weird bonus points because there are Christmas quote unquote candies that are only available because people make them.
Yes, this is true. There's the things that are not mass produced that are, there's get a lot of localized fare. You get a lot of family traditions that come out of this, just making them. So the like peanut brittle gets made.
Yeah,
like, that's a candy that gets made a lot like around this time. So that's there's a lot of variety, but to me that also adds a huge bonus point to this. Of that, it adds just a lot more. I'm trying to add to this. I was just gonna say memories, or whatever, like personalization to it.
Yeah, there's some personalized flair there. It's a lot more like whatever. Because, like you said, like if we're counting fudge as a candy, which I think you probably can, right? There are endless varieties of fudge that people make at Christmas time, with like varying degrees of goodness. Because some people's fudge I don't like.
Yeah.
And other people's fudge I'm like, I need this all the time. Why do you only make this one time a year? Right. Like some of it's like so good. And other ones it's like, oh, thanks. Really appreciate it. Like but you have you have the homemade variety. Right. So I think we get bonus. We got to give some kind of bonus points for just the homemadeness, right?
Mm-hmm.
because the rest of it is kind of just like, it's either just peppermint or chocolate that's in a Christmas themed wrapper. So we do have the downside of Christmas does have that Halloween problem of like, they're like, oh, it's this grab bag of candy, but it's literally just like milk chocolate with Christmas trees on the wrapper. Right? You know those little cheap candies in the bag, right? There's just like a million. People get their stockings a lot, you know. It's just like an actual ball, but it's just like, here you go. Right? But it's just got a green wrapper, so it's Christmassy.
Yeah, right. Or there's
right.
Or everyone's Hershey's Kisses, where to make them Christmas, they either make them candy, make them peppermint, or they change the wrapping to be green and red, and now that's the Christmas.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, okay,
it's true.
You did nothing for this.
That's true. You know, does it taste different from the normal silver Kisses that you can get in June?
Maybe.
The peppermint ones do, but not the rest of them. Sorry.
Nope. Santa's magic does not extend that far.
Hershey's. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we turn a new leaf and we dive into Valentine's Day, right? Which
Valentine's Day is tricky
to me
because like
things obviously bad chocolate and Brock's candy heart.
Yeah, right. Just
the chalk.
That's really basically the two Valentine's candies, right?
Yeah.
The conversation hearts that taste like chalk, and bad chocolates that come in a box.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That are a mystery, like the mystery chocolate. The worst ones, like not the Russell, the ones that aren't made by Russell Stovers, who don't put any sort of labels on them.
Yes.
And it's just a mystery box of chocolate, and one of them is good, and the rest of them are terrible. And even the Russell Stovers ones, I gotta say, like,
not the highest quality.
I mean, no,
because
they're not really.
Because even if it's high quality ingredients, one of them is going to be marzipan, and nobody wants to eat that.
Yes,
like,
and one
disgusting.
of them, marzipan with chocolate is not good, right? Like marzipan by itself, like the little Mexican candies, they're like the little circles that are like the marzipan thing.
Yeah,
those are stinking delicious, right? But like nobody's put gross chocolate on those for a reason, because it would be bad. Okay, or you get the one with the weird orange cream filling. No, I don't know. No.
Yeah.
Or the toffee that's just like way too sticky and it like breaks your teeth.
It's really gross. Yeah, not well done toffee. Yeah, it's just very mass produced, cheap stuff. It's just, to me. So
I don't like it.
While you can find, again, this is not saying you can't find high quality Valentine.
Oh, yes, of course.
This is just saying that what is emblematic and pushed out there is just the literal tons, like metric tons of garbage on store shelves.
Oh, so bad. Like, it's just like, and again, like you say, it's like only chocolatey, right?
Yes.
Like, that's the only thing with Valentine's Day. It's like only chocolate.
It's just chocolate everywhere.
Yeah, sometimes there's fruit involved, like strawberries.
Chocolate covered strawberries, yes. But, no.
Again, it has chocolate. So that's like it. It's a very one-trick pony. And there's also the bad toffee in the chocolate that really, like, I cannot stress to you how terrible it is when you, like, just grab one of those things out of that box and you just like eat it, and then it's so sticky that you can't open your mouth again.
You can't,
because your molars have been cemented together.
And I
just like,
I do.
Oh no!
I do have.
What have I done?
Confession time. I do have a filling or two in my teeth, and I'm always worried. Is this the time? I'm going to chew on this, and I'm going to have to go back, hat in hand, to my dentist and say, you know how he told me not to, but I did. I was too embarrassed to flip the box over and make sure I didn't do this because people were watching me, and I was so self-conscious. I just ate the first thing, and it was this, and I ripped out 3 of my fillings. Yeah, that's what's going to happen, and it goes through my brain. So there's also something about, like, I don't know why they would make them not look visually distinct from each other. Why every single piece of candy in that box has to look exactly the same.
because you're always like, oh yeah, I think this one's the one I like.
I know.
And you eat it and you're like, nope, that wasn't it.
Yeah.
Nope, that was wrong.
Right. Pick a pattern.
Every time.
The cylinders mean one thing. There's no code. There's nothing. Sometimes you look for the wrong, the long cute cylinders or
the loaf looking thing.
No, or the
circle,
the drizzle that's on top. Nope, none of that means a single thing. They're just completely careless, which means what must these manufacturing plants look like in order to accommodate that level of diversity of candies? It's insane. So, what do you think of the rounding out the holiday, the candy holidays with Easter?
Yeah. So Easter is, I think Easter's got some good candy, man. Right? I think Easter definitely gets bonus points for variety because, we were talking about, Christmas, Halloween has it's basically just chocolate and normal candy, right? Christmas has peppermint and chocolate. Valentine's Day has chocolate and chocolate, and Easter has a lot of different kinds of stuff, right?
Right.
Have jelly beans, right? Let's be honest here. Jelly beans are an Easter thing. And jelly beans are delicious. So
they are. Yeah. Yeah. There's just, the variety here is not just different kinds of chocolates, but like you said, this is the one holiday where Christmas has started to this, and I'm going to say this as though the holidays are the entities that are making the candies because that's just easier for my brain. It's almost like
it's fine.
Christmas has started to steal some of the use of marshmallow in the candies, but that is definitely solidly an Easter thing because obviously Peeps, but
the Peeps, right?
Christmas has started to do that where they get a marshmallow Santa sometimes covered in a little bit of chocolate, but
that's true.
But but that's definitely an Easter. I'm going to say technology. It's been
Easter candy technology.
It's been appropriated by some other holidays, but it originated in Easter. Yes. I definitely,
in my heart, that's true. I don't know if that's actual fact, but
it's fine. It's fact. Yes. Yes. So it and Easter also has some companies that have built their at least there's one, right? Cadbury, that's their thing. Their shtick is we're Easter.
Yes. And so for as a US customer, right? In other places such as England, right? Cadbury chocolate is there all the time, right? But for whatever reason, it is just most readily available in the United States during Easter. And as I'm pretty sure literally anyone will tell you, Cadbury chocolate is far superior to any others.
Oh my gosh. It is crazy.
It's so good.
It is.
It's so much better than many other chocolates that are made in the US, right? Just vastly superior, right? And so you definitely get bonus points for Cadbury anything, but those Cadbury eggs are delicious. Oh, even though they've had the same commercial for 25 years and it's dumb. Doesn't
matter.
Give them a pass on that.
It's fine. It's fine. Their product is immaculate and divine, so they get a pass.
That's true.
For mine. Yeah. No, Easter definitely has the upper hand for that. And again, I also say that the one thing I started off this conversation by saying that one of the things that will rank the holidays is how Reese's repackages their peanut butter cups. And, they also have they have the Reese's peanut butter cup trees for Christmas. Holidays they have started Halloween they have started to make some bats, some bat shaped ones.
I think that's for the small ones, but the bigger ones are pumpkins, right?
Yeah, for some reason I have yet to fully understand why the egg shaped Reese's are far superior to every other shape of Reese's in every imaginable way. I don't.
I think they're bigger.
They are bigger.
They're definitely bigger than the trees.
Yes,
they're bigger than the heart. right?
Yes.
I think they're of similar volume to the pumpkin.
Yeah, I think it is the
Right.
volume, and it is the appropriate ratio of chocolate to peanut butter, of which all Reese's peanut butter cups should be made, but they are not. And so they're perfect. Basically what I'm saying. And that's why every Easter I buy a year's worth supply and store it in. No, I don't. I'm kidding. I don't actually. But
also, I think one of them is more expensive than the rest of them. I think it's the tree,
which doesn't. Yeah, why? Because it's complicated. It's a complicated shape. I don't think so.
Yeah, because the dye maybe they have to use to cast it. But like, I'm pretty sure.
That's a weird distinction.
One of them is more expensive than the rest. Right. I think that's true. I don't remember which one it is, but I want to say it's the tree is more expensive than the rest of them. Which is odd.
Do some research on that.
Yes. But you would think that I'll be the same. But no.
Of course not.
Yeah, I think Easter definitely gets bonus points for variety of like ingredients used.
Yes.
Right. Like, like you said, the marshmallow and I just like now, well, before I say this, I really do like jelly beans a lot. However, I really do not like all jelly beans.
They're not created equal.
Not all. We must acknowledge the fact that not all jelly beans are created equally.
It's okay. We can admit
some of them are horrid.
They are straight
they're
garbage.
Just too. I don't know what's wrong with them, but they're bad. But the good jelly beans are amazing. So we have to acknowledge that. I will acknowledge that there are trash tier jelly beans. All right, that could be a whole different list for some other time, right? Ranking different types of jelly beans. We have to do some extenuous research on that. But so we'll save that one for later. But in general, jelly beans are pretty great. So
okay. So I do like a good jelly bean. It's not just the flavor; it's also the consistency, and that goes into that for sure. So, but we'll rank jelly beans later, I'm sure. But I don't know of the we've walked through all four of them. I don't in your list. Do you have a ranking of 1 to 4? Or do you just want to say top
sort of.
1? Or do you just
I don't know. So we'll just. I guess we can go 4 to 1. Right. We'll just start at the bottom and go up. So I think my number 4. I think it might be Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Bottom.
Yeah, but it definitely ranks very low. Just the focus. I love chocolate. I'm not typically a sugary candy kind of person. But just there's nothing really there that excites you about it. It's not even, again, good chocolate by and large.
Yeah, it's a lot of it's bad. So that's the so yeah, I would say Valentine's Day 4, and then I guess that means Halloween would be number 3. Right.
Yeah.
I think.
So
for me.
Yeah. I might. Yeah.
This is hard now.
No,
that is hard.
It's
the Valentine's Day was kind of easy. Like, I don't like that trash.
I think in staying true to this, of like the I'm going to add a couple caveats here in this selection of obviously holidays with the best candy, and a big part of that is the holiday specific candy that goes to it. I think that definitely weighs that's a big weight, because that it's showcasing a lot of things. So I will agree that Halloween, while it has a wide variety, which is nice, so everybody gets to choose something, as far as specificity goes, it's extremely lacking. Yeah,
I would agree. I think the lack of specifically for Halloween candy that you can't get other times of the year, I think it loses a lot of points for that.
Yeah.
Right. And because it's just like repackaged normal candy, or some people try to slip in trash like those circus peanuts or something horrible like that. Like, get out of here. Like, nobody wants Nobody wants that.
Right. Yeah. So I think with that in mind, so now we've got to between Christmas and Easter.
This is the big fight here.
This is
right. Like,
and this really comes down to how you're going to weight the different aspects that we've discussed of like specific candy, also like showcasing stuff, or the homemade or whatever that's involved in this, the variety, whatever.
True. I feel like this one is pretty close, right? I feel like the gulf between these two is nowhere near as wide as the gulf between like whatever I'm about to say in Halloween.
Yeah,
right?
this is true.
I feel like there's a big chasm between them now, but like the difference between 1 and 2 is pretty. It's kind of almost like 1 and 1A, right? I feel like they're pretty close contenders.
Yeah,
right?
1A and 1B. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like they're pretty close. So I don't. I don't know. I feel like part of me wants to put Christmas in number 2.
Okay.
Right? Knowing full well that my wife will karate chop me for saying such things. I will here let it be known that her ranking would put it number 1.
Okay.
Right. We will acknowledge that.
Okay. Acknowledged. Entered into record.
Yeah. I feel like just based on the criteria that we've been talking about, like, I don't know. I feel like it's got to be number 2.
Yep. This is where it goes on my list as well. That while it is nice. I mean, the homemade aspect of this is what separates it.
Yeah, big points.
Big points for that. The heavy reliance on peppermint, though, it's like everything gets peppermint, which is fine because it's wonderful.
True.
With lots of medicinal peppermint. Like this, it's very soothing. It's very medicinal. It's a nice pairing with the other very, very savory stuff that you're eating about this time as well. But the heavy reliance on like it has one flavor, and then the homemade aspect of it, while it makes it very unique, it doesn't quite rise to the level of Easter in my book.
There we go. So number 1, unanimous, apparently, surprisingly, Easter.
There
we go.
Yes.
It was the Cadbury eggs that did it. Really, that's what.
Okay. If we're being serious here, okay, yeah, jelly beans and Cadbury eggs. I would eat my body weight 3 times over in Cadbury cream eggs. Like just like this thing. They're so good, and it's one of those things of like it is so specific. They only come out for Easter. You can't get anything close to them throughout the rest of the entire year. They only come out there for us that time, for that month or those couple of weeks, and then they're just gone. So it's like there's it just gets built up, and they're amazing.
That's true.
And then the use of marshmallow, I keep bringing that up because it really is odd in many cases of how people use it. But I think also
that's true. Like those little marshmallow, like they're like, I don't know. I think you can get them. They're like little. They're just like a bunny, but they have marshmallow inside.
Yes.
Right? Pretty good. Right? I don't.
Are they? Is it marshmallow? Who knows? I don't think it meets the definition of that.
It partly marshmallow. I don't really know.
Yes.
I don't know what something has to have to be called marshmallow. I'm not real sure. I don't know if it has to come from a marsh, but we don't know.
Anyway. So yes, I think I guess what we're really saying is Cadbury does a lot of heavy lifting for Easter.
That's true.
So I fully agree that. So yes, Valentine's Day, Halloween,
jelly bean,
Christmas, Easter.
There we go.
There you go.
Unless your name is Susan, and then you flip-flop those last two. And Christmas reigns supreme.
Okay.
So I just let it be known. We'll add that.
Yeah. Let's say Susan. How do I make this? Denote this.
Susan's dissenting opinion.
Yes.
We'll just put that in
there. Susan dissents.
Yes.
Xmas. Everyone, okay, it's been entered into the public record. Okay.
There we go.
Okay, very good. Well, we have in fact ranked those. We've finally got to this. and we're
perfect.
We're good. So that's all, folks.
All right. Woo.
Okay, so we have to hold out until spring, and we'll survive.
Okay.
Survive. Okay. Very good. Very good. Okay. Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.